Hi.
Hi there, I'm
Did you miss
Tish.
I'm Lily.
And together we are
Haunted Housewives.
We're back. It is a new year.
Yes.
And we're looking forward to everything that's going to happen in 2025. But we realized we never really did a wrap-up. So this is the perfect time to do a little look back on Haunt Season 2024. And our approach
Say a word.
Yeah, say a
Say
word.
a word about each haunt.
Our approach is a little bit different. We have decided to pick one word that we associate with every haunt that we have visited.
In 2024.
In 2024.
Because, they change.
Yeah.
They change. Words change for different haunts. We have different experience each time we go.
But this year, these are the words that come to mind when we think of you. So starting off with Fairfield in St. Clair, Ohio. The word is...
Wet. So when we went, it was pouring down rain.
There we go.
It was a really fun time, but I felt really bad for everyone having to be out there in the soaking rain and mud.
But also, it was wet for another reason. It was their bloodbath event.
True. That's true. So it's going to be wet anyway.
They do this a couple of times every season where they will just douse you with gallons of blood. You'll walk past a cannibal in a shack and he'll just pour something on you. So if you put Fairfield on your schedule for next year, there's a good chance that you're going to get wet too.
Yeah. And see, if it's a bloodbath day, wear your white.
Yeah.
And you'll have a fun, cool shirt afterwards.
Yeah, we saved our shirts that have all the blood stains on them. And cool souvenir.
Yeah.
And the creatures who live out in this trail are very enthusiastic.
Yes, very vocal.
Very interactive.
Yes.
So, Fairfield is wet. All right. Our next haunt that we went to, I think, in 2024 was Demon House. And I'm going to tweak the word that we talked about just a little bit, and I'm going to go with a classic that applies perfectly to Demon House in Monongahela, Pennsylvania, and that is Possessed.
Ah, yes. Yes.
This place is supposed to be actually haunted. There are lots of stories about it. But one of the things that stands out in this place is how the creatures move. And if you have seen The Exorcist, you remember that scene of Reagan walking down the stairs, crab walking backwards down the stairs.
That's them.
You will see that at Demon House. You will also have people running at you full tilt. You will have people writhing and twisting.
Moving
and
all kinds of weird ways.
And they look like they are in fact possessed. Demon House had lots of good stuff this year.
Yeah, they did.
They changed up their entrance. They did something completely different. They had a wonderful seance that they used as a vehicle for telling you the rules. It was really cool.
Yes.
It
Very
worked
fun.
really, really well. So we're willing to bet that if you go to Demon House in 2025, it will still be
Possessed.
Next up is
The Basement.
Ooh.
Yeah, they have been on hiatus for quite a while. And from what they have written this in 2024, that may have been their last hurrah, but who knows?
Yeah. It will at least...
We love The Basement, and we love what they do there. And we've been going since 2016. Whenever they did have one, we went, and it is so fun. Nothing like anything.
For the uninitiated, The Basement is an adults-only high contact, highly interactive experience.
Right. So their word is
touch. Because you do in fact sign a waiver, and they're very serious about it. They want you to know that you will be a player in the scenes. They may put a hood over your head. They will definitely, take your hand at the very least. They may feed you something. They will get very up close and personal. And it's extremely immersive. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not just weird or salacious. The touch is in the service of the story that they're trying to tell.
Yeah. You're not just in the story. You are the story.
Yeah. Yeah. And your reactions are incorporated into the ways that the actors respond. Yeah. So if you are interested in an extremely immersive experience, The Basement, if it comes back, is the sort of experience you're looking for.
Yes.
And it will, they will touch you, but, they will also, to be completely corny about this, they will touch your imagination. They're going to make you think.
Yes.
They're going to make you feel something.
Absolutely.
So, The Basement, which was this year in Etna, Pennsylvania. Don't know if it'll be back. Don't know where it will be. But if it shows up, put it on your radar. Next up,
Fright
Farm.
Yes.
So Fright Farm is a huge haunted attraction. It has a hayride, an outdoor space that I'm not sure I would characterize as a trail, but it's outdoors.
Oh, yeah. It's like a, what do they call it? I feel like there's a word for it. It's like the grounds out.
Yeah. It's not wild. It's very cultivated looking. There's a haunted house. There's a cannibal barn. And this year they did a lot of new stuff.
They really did.
So with that said, our word is
elegant. That's because of the new thing. It is the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
And the hotel is just so cool. Like, they've just done so many cool things. Every year we go, they've had so many changes and just upgraded every single time. And the hotel is no different. It is so creepy. It's completely different than anything else that they have out there. I just remember looking at the floors going, this looks like the floor of an old decrepit hotel.
And there was a banquet hall. You walk through this dining hall and you can smell desserts.
Yeah.
And it looks beautiful, which is in complete contrast to something like the Cannibal Chainsaw Maniac Barn, which is gross and bloody and highly interactive.
Smells bad. Yeah.
Smells terrible. Yeah. But the way they have done everything is just so detailed, so carefully thought out.
Yes.
And because they have this gorgeous, like, Art Deco, Tower of Terror, American Horror Story style attraction.
Yes.
I think elegant fits.
Yeah, I agree. Next up is Dooda's.
Oh, yeah, Dooda's! Which is fairly new. They have a haunted hayride.
A hayride.
And
a corn maze that we can never figure our way out of.
Next year, we're just
speaking of
bringing a damn tent.
Their word is.
And camping. The word for Dooda's is welcoming. You'll feel right at home there, and you may end up having to make your home there because if you're like us, because you're never going to get out.
Right.
They have great customer service. They have actors who just throw themselves into whatever it is they're doing.
Agree. They go full out no matter, we rolled up about 15 minutes before they closed and we were like, we understand. There's nobody here. It was like a bad night. I think it was raining. I can't remember. And we said, we understand if you're closed or you don't want to take any more people. And they were like, no, we're all here. We're all waiting for customers. So come on in. And they just put on such a great show.
They put on a show for us. It was great.
Yeah, and the fact that we could not find our way out of the corn maze, their energy levels, it's so late at night, at the end of the night, and they were still, and I'm like, you could just show us the way!
No, they were chasing us. Yeah. The White Rabbit character was terrorizing us. They were misleading us.
They were dying in front of us. We're like, okay, I guess we'll step over you. Yeah.
But they just
go all out.
Do anything to make sure that you have a good time. So Duda's Haunted Farm is welcoming.
Yes.
Coincidentally, like the next place we went was also a hayride. Haunted Hills Hayride in North Versailles, which is all volunteer, has been running for years. And they also have a haunted hayride and a haunted trail. The word that we chose for Haunted Hills Hayride is
fun. And it's so fun.
They do something that is really unusual. They have, first of all, you have your own maniac assigned to your hay wagon. When you board the hay wagon, there's a lunatic that gets on there with you, and he'll run around and scare you. He'll jump off and come up behind the wagon and, pull on the chainsaw. Yeah. But one of the things that they do is that they will act out scenes on the wagon. Like, you will stop in front of a tableau and the actors will come onto the wagon and talk to everybody.
Yeah. They interact, they do their character and what they need to do, and they make sure they interact with like everybody on the hayride, and they're funny and engaging.
So it is just super fun, and this carries over to the trail part as well. It's an extremely enjoyable, high-energy experience. So, Haunted Hills Hayride, fun.
Yes. Next up,
Haunted Hills Estate.
Yes.
We've been going there for years now.
And years and years. Yes, they were on our, I want to say we went our first year.
I think so. And they are near Uniontown, Pennsylvania. It's on an old farm, and they have tons of property. There are 2 main buildings in which they stage 2 of the attractions. And there's also this gorgeous long trail. And
beautiful.
The word that we chose for Haunted Hills Estate was gritty. Because this is a very realistic, in your face, when you're walking through the basement of the house, you feel like you are in a basement of a place that has it's old. There are shelves with artifacts on them. There's
it's like real like
dust
furnaces,
and tools,
and
it feels incredibly real. When you're out on the trail, there's old cars and little shacks, and it feels like this old Appalachian settlement.
It does, yeah.
So you feel the age, you feel the
even in their
the
new
decay.
building.
Yeah, even in the new building, which is like pretty and shiny and has beautiful
art
3D
inside.
paintings in it.
But you go in and like the way that they have everything set up and the atmosphere, they know how to make it gritty and realistic. Like you're really walking through some deranged, decrepit clown.
So if you go to Haunted Hills Estate, you're gonna feel the grit on your fingers. You're gonna feel it in the back of your throat, and you're certainly going to feel it when the chainsaw maniacs come after you, because they will come after you.
Yes.
In contrast to that, Bloodview. which is in Broadview, Ohio. It's in Northeast Ohio. It's near Akron, near Cleveland, and Bloodview has been around a long time.
Yes, they have.
One of the claims to fame, other than giving all of their proceeds to charity, is they're run by an acting troupe.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And depending on when you go there, you might get a very different storyline. You might get entirely different characters.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very with the improv, and they love what they do. They love playing around with people and interacting with you.
Mm-hmm. And you can tell that this is a bunch of people who are they're actors. They know what they're doing. They enjoy what they're doing. And with that said, our word for Bloodview is
playful.
It is an extremely playful haunt. Mm-hmm. Like, they enjoy scaring you, but they really enjoy interacting with the guests.
They really do.
They want to have some kind of reaction from you.
They want to.
And again, there's a couple of buildings. There's kind of a trail in between the buildings, and the one building is sort of concentrated, gory, gross. There was a clown. There was a ghost referee.
I like how the one building has an opening. Yeah. So when you're in line, you see when people go by, and it's just
hilarious.
Just another way to be funny and like
you see
play
the
with the crowd.
You see the reactions of people going through the haunted house. Like,
and immediately, as soon as I came in, this clown is in my face, and like, I don't know, I think we had to go under him. Like,
he did. He climbed the walls. He climbed the walls, and we had to walk underneath him.
Yeah, really. Okay.
But it's a very playful, very fun, very theatrical haunt. Mm-hmm. So check out Bloodview.
Yes.
The next place is one
very
of
well
the
known.
Like, it is kind of the 800-pound gorilla of Pittsburgh area haunts, and that is 100 Acres. 100 Acres Manor is huge. It is sprawling. It is multi-theme. It is continuous. There are emergency exits.
Yes.
I mean, if you get
if
overwhelmed,
you've had enough, like
because it is loud and intense and constant. And with that said, our word for 100 Acres Manor is
dark.
And this year we had some particularly fun experiences in a couple of the attractions. There are, I think, 5 separate themes, but you mentioned the first one.
The hospital area. That's it's a new area.
That's a newer one, yeah.
And that's not the one you were talking about.
No, I was talking about. But go on.
Oh yeah, there's a whole.
Get down with your bad self.
Like the Jack the Ripper and like the London, and I love that. I look forward to that every time we go.
It is.
I love that area. It's so like realistic, and like you just feel like you're there, and people are harassing you, and
it looks like every nightmare of Victorian London you've ever imagined or seen. There are plague rats, there are sewers, there are shops with literal Mad Hatters. There are werewolves, there are plague doctors and carts with bodies and posters advertising, Jack the Ripper, warning you to go home and barricade
stay
yourself
off the streets.
It's this sort of dark fantasy version of Victorian London that's just incredible. But the new attraction this past year was this medical horror, this hospital where we walked into this space that was just filled with gurneys and got separated. I don't know what we're doing. And it's very gory and very realistic. 100 Acres has phenomenal production values. They do gore really, really well. They do smells really, really well. So if you are looking for a place that has great sets and props and just will surround you with darkness and grunge and nastiness.
Yeah.
100 Acres Manor. Just outside of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. About 10 minutes from my house.
Right?
Yay!
Right here.
We're right here. While we're on the subject of production values.
I know, right? When you said production values, I was
production values. Nightmare Cleveland.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The place is amazing.
And it's newish.
It is.
What, 3 years old?
Yeah, I think so.
So, Nightmare Cleveland is a science fiction-ish themed haunted attraction just outside of, surprise, Cleveland, Ohio. And it is hyper-realistic. The plot line is that you have stumbled onto this medical research facility where things have gone very, very wrong.
Yes.
So if you are...
literally feel like that. Like, there's nothing about... Once you walk in the door, there's nothing that makes you think you're not there.
Yeah. It's a single theme haunt, but they managed to find so much variety in that theme.
Yes.
You're going to see a range of medical experiments. You're going to run into different kinds of mad scientists. If you are at all sensitive to bad things happening to animals, you may want to skip this because it's a medical research facility run by evil, crazed people. But with that said, our word for Nightmare Cleveland is...
movie. Because it's like being in a movie.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
The production values there, everything. There's not one thing out of place.
Yeah. And there's sound cues. Like,
Yep. The props and the costumes are just so good.
Really well crafted.
So realistic.
Phenomenal
for what it is.
acting.
You wouldn't think.
Phenomenal acting. And just an incredible variety with this single theme. But if you are looking for a haunted attraction where you feel like you're in a horror movie,
yep, and you don't have to be super into like sci-fi because we're really not. We were surprised by how much we love this place.
It's really very well done. So check out Nightmare Cleveland. The next haunted attraction we visited.
Crawford School of Terror. Yeah.
In Connellsville, Pennsylvania, in that southwestern corner of Pennsylvania where apparently everything has gone wrong at some point because there's such a wealth of haunted houses.
Right.
You want to talk about what Crawford School of Terror is and does?
They are a haunted house, Kathleen. They also have possessed beings.
It's a haunted school.
Very scary. There's a whole story.
One would think we had not visited this place every year for the last several years. School of Terror
is terrifying.
That wasn't actually our word.
No, that was not our word.
Our word for Crawford School of Terror is
inventive, because they have such amazing ideas. And I know there are a lot more ideas that they've even put into practice, but some of the ideas are just breathtaking. Like, how do you just do that? And it's just them. It's not like they have a gazillion dollars and they have all these people coming in to help them or anything.
No, this is a relatively smaller attraction. It is family run. It's a husband and wife team who are really kind of the presiding geniuses behind this thing. But they are so creative and so driven. And every year they change things up. The first time we went there, we were both struck by how well designed the haunt was. So you're never going through any room in just like a straight path. You have to always kind of wind your way through. And you're always way too close to something or someone you don't want to be. This year, they completely redid the bottom floor of the haunted attraction. They put in this haunted barn. And they use the rafter space, the rafters in the barn.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Dangle
crazy. What?
Things and people and they've created this wonderful maze that looks like you're in a barn, but you're just sort of being herded through this space, and there are things above you, there are things around the corner, and they're so creative that we decided, Crawford School of Terror, we're going to go with the word inventive for them. Near Crawford School of Terror is Allen's Haunted Hayride and Tavern of Terror. Allen's is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, haunted hayride in the nation.
Yeah.
They've been going since the 1970s.
Yeah.
And the signature attraction is this hayride that takes you up through the trees and the fields, and it's narrated. It's very funny. There's a driver who will make jokes and keep up this constant stream of patter and draw your attention to the tableaus along the path. It's very funny. It's very fun. Very interactive. You'll see a lot of families at this hayride. I think for a lot of people, it's a tradition. They bring their kids because they went there when they were kids.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that we decided the word for Allen's Haunted Hayride is...
Institution.
Institution.
Because it's an institution.
It is. I mean, if you live in this part of Pennsylvania, if you live in Western Pennsylvania, you know Allen's. You may have been to Allen's, and you know why this place has lasted as long as it has.
You've at least driven past Allen's.
Or if you're us, you've driven past it, missed the entrance,
the entrance
can, again.
FYI, the entrance can be a little tricky. You might drive by 3 times before you go in.
Lily, they're smarter than we are. They're smarter than we are. But the other reason that we chose the word institution was because of the Tavern of Terror.
Yes.
They have, in addition to the hayride, which is this big, fun, highly interactive ride, they have this little walk-through haunted house. Per square foot, they have more ideas and creativity and actors.
Yes.
Than a lot of places do.
I remember we were in one room and we were like, oh my God, there's like 12 actors in here. And the guy was like, there's 8.
Thank you. Thank you.
We were like, oh, thanks,
for the correction.
Crazy killer person. Like that.
It was really helpful.
It was so funny. It was just such a...
But they have so many actors.
So unique.
So many ideas. They do this wonderful Pepper's ghost illusion. There's a moving coffin that moves backwards. There's
and it's like 10, 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
At most.
It's packed, though.
There's so much in there.
It's packed. And they have wonderful actors. They had, I would imagine, a teenager playing Art the Clown who was
so good,
perfect and hilarious. Just had the physicality of that character down. Wonderful stuff. And I don't know if I mentioned this or you mentioned this. The tavern is supposed to be this insane asylum, so it's an institution. Ha ha ha. But if you want to see something that has been around a long time and you want to experience why it's been around a long time, because it's constantly changing, fun and inventive, check out Allen's Haunted Hayride.
Yep.
So then we went on a little road trip.
To Wild and Wonderful.
West Virginia. The next attraction we visited was
Infernum in Terra,
which is in Wheeling, West Virginia. It's in this massive old brick building. It has one of the best entrances, I think, of any haunted attraction in the area. You have to climb this long flight of stairs and knock on the door at on the top floor of the building to gain admission to this thing.
Yeah.
And it's also pretty consistently themed. I mean, Infernum in Terra, it's hell on earth.
Right.
And the idea is that you are a damned soul entering hell. And they really stick with that theme.
Yep.
And they do a lot with it.
Yes.
But
yes, every little area you go to has a different way of trying to, get your soul from you.
Yeah, and they give you a little bit of a quest. You're given something that symbolizes your soul, and you have to protect it the whole way through. And let me tell you, their creatures will try to take it from you.
Yep.
They are hell bent on trying to deceive you. But Infernum in Terra is run by, again, this is another family-owned haunt, husband and wife, who also create masks and props and animatronics for other haunted attractions. So our word for Infernum in Terra is
original.
The stuff
everything in there.
The stuff you see here doesn't look like anywhere else.
No.
It's things that they have designed specifically for this space. It has a consistent look and feel. This year, they created this whole catacomb.
I know.
Like
that was crazy.
The bottom floor is like you're in the grave, and this demonic thing is pursuing you.
It's also like a maze. Like, where's the door? So Jen's gonna keep running around.
You're never gonna find the there's a hidden door. We realized the second time we went through. There's a hidden door. They're deliberately keeping it from you. Yeah. But the look and the feel of the place, highly original. Everything is very, like, the corridors are very narrow. The props are very close to you. So it is, if you're at all claustrophobic, this place is going to trigger you. But it's just, it's very well done. Consistent, beautiful. Infernum in Terra.
Yep.
Hell on earth.
Next up is another one that we've been going to for a very long time.
Oh my gosh.
We've seen it be
different
every
oh my
time.
Gosh. Which is, you'll see when we get to our word. Wells Township Haunted House in Brilliant, Ohio.
I had to say brilliant. I can't. No, I was waiting to say brilliant. I have to say brilliant.
Can't just say. Wells Township has earned this reputation as being this sort of all-out, crazy, will try anything. In past years, they've done like a life-size video game. They've done a Twitch stream.
There's just been so many differences. Like, they have a recurring theme of they're a little crazy. And they're going to come out of the walls, come out of the hallways, come out of the floors and the ceilings and everywhere they can. They're going to shut the lights out on you at some point, multiple times. Things are going to happen when the lights go out. But the things in the room, the things that happen are different. They literally have meetings like all summer discussing what's going to happen. And they're very like open to ideas and changing things. And this year was
absolutely terrifying.
Yes.
They really leaned into the horror this year. It was very scary. It's interesting though. They're not super bloody.
No.
They're not super gory.
No.
But the way they handle lighting and sound and timing makes the experience really, really intense. Like, you'll be standing in a room and the lights will go out and you know something is moving toward you. You know something is moving toward you, and the lights will come back up, and there it will be. But the word we chose for Wells Township is unexpected.
Makes sense.
Because you never know. You never know what you're going to get there. Walls move, floors move, things come out from the ceiling, from beside you. You won't know where the entrances and exits are.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yep. When you don't know what's happening. Most of the time you're in there, you don't know what's happening.
It's an experience.
Yes.
It is an experience. And the actors are young and enthusiastic. There was, this year they had a possession scene.
Terrifying.
Oh my gosh.
Terrifying.
Oh, this girl was on the freaking ceiling. She climbed the wall somehow.
You just didn't know what was going to happen ever.
Ugh. So, if you are a fan of jump scares and the unexpected,
yes,
check out Wells Township. Speaking of jump scares, speaking of crazy people and jump scares,
we're coming a little bit back into PA.
We're back in Pennsylvania. We're back in actually Lily's neighborhood, kind of. Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. Freddy's Haunts. Do you want to explain Freddy's Haunts? And if you say it's a haunted house, I will hit you.
No, I was going to say it is caves underground.
Yes.
With people trying to kill you.
There we go. Yes.
Yes.
That's it exactly.
I know. It's expanding. Like every time we go, it's longer and longer. Like what?
Yeah. It's this massive building, but you feel like you're in a cave system.
Yeah. And you don't know like which way to go. Things are changing. It's just so creepy and weird, and there's nothing really like it with the caves underground.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just, one of the first times I went, I was running through the caves. I didn't know where I was going. There were multiple directions you could go. The last couple times, I think they kind of closed off one and made it so you knew which way to go.
They knew.
But they were like, oh, this woman's going to get lost and buried in this cave.
Yes.
And like the walls are like cave-like, like they're rough, or unless they have corn stalks on them, like depending on which place you go through. But yeah, it is old school. It's unique, but they
actually,
follow you. That's a follow you place.
The word we chose partly because they will follow you. They will follow you. Out of the building.
Forever.
They'll follow you forever. They may follow you home. The word that we chose was...
Committed.
Committed. They should be committed, probably. They will do whatever they can to scare you, and they really enjoy it. And it's another one of these places. It's been around for a while. It has that feeling. If you were a kid in the 80s and you remember going to haunted attractions then... you will remember this feeling. And there are sections of this haunt that have, day glow paint on the walls. And,
takes you right back.
It will tap into that feeling. But because they will do whatever they can to scare you, and because they are so crazy, we're just going to stick with committed.
Yes.
And continuing a theme.
Subject to change.
Continuing a theme.
Oh my gosh.
Special friends.
Work. These people were. The next group was committed, and then escapes.
Nightmare at Stagecoach Hollow. This is an Ohio haunt. It's just across the border from Western Pennsylvania. Nightmare at Stagecoach Hollow it's a trail. It is multi-theme. There's an insane asylum. There's a graveyard. There's a hospital area. There's a satanic camp. There's creepy kids. There's cannibals. Yeah. But the thing that holds it all together is...
the psychopaths.
The psychopaths.
Freaking psychopaths.
Though I think their preferred term is crazy assholes.
Crazy assholes.
They're
crazy asshole psychopaths.
They're nuts. The actors here are insane. They will follow you. They will chase you. They will hide in places they just should not be. They will torment you. From the time you venture into the insane asylum area, the first section is in complete darkness, which is really, really unsettling. And you know you're not alone in the dark.
No.
And you're feeling your way around because you really can't see anything, and you hear somebody whistling. And it is the worst feeling in the world.
Worst. Stomach drops. Like, what the hell?
And then they just follow you. They follow you everywhere, and you never know when something's going to jump out at you. And they delight in tormenting you. They're nuts. They're really, really nuts. I mean, it's a beautiful trail. It's laid out well. It's, there's cool scenes, but what really holds it all together is the crazy assholes. Yeah. If that's the sort of thing you like, if you ever really wanted to visit Camp Crystal Lake, this is your place.
Yes, they move a little bit faster. So.
Actually, as 80s villains go, they're much more Freddy Krueger. They're very Freddy Krueger.
Yes, because we have a little humor in there as well.
They're funny.
Yes,
they're funny.
Yeah,
as well as relentless.
That's true. Yeah.
But
they're Freddy.
If that's what you're looking for, Nightmare at Stagecoach Hollow is absolutely worth a visit. Lots of fun, memorable. You'll have a great time. You may pee yourself, but hey,
we all do.
Okay. It happens. The next place we visited, brand new. What to say? Was this in Lawrence County? It's up north. Mercer. I
can't believe my brain remembered something.
Excellent.
I know.
Thank you for saving me. Midnight Hour Scaregrounds. Brand new haunt. Makes great use of the fairgrounds. They've set up this whole, this past year they set up this whole cornstalk perimeter. They use the buildings. They use the space outside. They use one of the barns. And the thing I think that really set them apart was
actors.
Their actors were fantastic.
So good.
From the minute we got out of the car.
Yeah.
Until we left.
Weird. And they had their very own characters.
Yeah.
Stuff that, we don't see everywhere.
Yeah. They had these developed characters. They had thought about who they were. There was this, female maniac asylum escapee who was sort of friendly and giggly, and when we asked her name, she didn't have one. She'd forgotten it because of what the doctors had done to her. And then there was, a psycho chainsaw clown, and then there was a character with this mask and this high-pitched voice.
That was so weird.
Deeply weird and highly original, and that carried through in the buildings, with the actors we ran into in both the fairground building and the barn. These are people who have really thought about their characters, and it was one of the things that, if you are a young haunt and you don't have a gazillion dollars.
A lot of props or a lot of space or a lot of stuff set up.
You need
professional actors.
You need people who know how to scare.
Yeah.
And who are enthusiastic about it. And Midnight Hour Scaregrounds had that on lock. It was just it was really fun and creepy and unsettling, and it's something that we can see building into something truly phenomenal.
Right.
So,
agreed.
Midnight Hour Scaregrounds, beautiful setting, great buildings. Check out their actors.
Go see.
All right. Another.
I can't see. I'm my eyes are watering from coughing. I'm choking. I gasped. I miss haunt season. I really do.
We miss Halloween.
And then I can't see our list. I'm like, who's next?
Erie Acres.
Erie Acres
in Butler, Pennsylvania. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Erie Acres, which started out as a neighborhood haunt.
Yeah.
The guy who runs this place started it as a way of entertaining the neighborhood kids. It has certainly grown from that.
Certainly grown. Yep.
There's
So good.
a haunted barn. There's... it's not precisely a maze. There's a cornfield trail thing that has a very different feel than most.
Yeah. Yeah, after 2020, when they moved a bunch of the stuff outside, their trail became something completely different. So it's like part built up, part trail.
Yeah. Yeah, their cornfield is more like a haunted house that just happens to have no roof or walls than it is like an actual trail, because there's scenes the whole way along the trail, great actors, a lot of just incredible...
fully realized, like... And I walked onto the TV set. I walked onto another TV set.
Yeah,
like what?
right. Like there was a whole drama that played out about an alien spacecraft crashing in the field, and there were multiple acts to this thing. And we ran into this guy whose brother had been killed by the aliens, and then we ventured further.
I was trying to help people. What do you need?
So it's a really well done, well realized trail. The haunted barn is great. You have very original. You have original characters, sort of side by side with like creatures from Silent Hill, like Pyramid Head and the Nurse.
Yeah.
And it works. The way they do it works.
Yeah.
And then there's Lily's very favorite chainsaw maze, which is this pallet maze at the end with multiple chainsaws in it. At least two.
This is one where I think I know the way through. Like, there's a couple places that I do know the way through. There's a couple places I absolutely do not know the way through. And this place I always think I do, and I'm wrong, and I get cornered. It's terrible. Or I get tricked.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. It's...
But
oh my gosh.
Then, here's the thing that happens. Yeah. You go through all of this, and you go outside, and there's an enormous bonfire. And there's little shops.
Yes.
And there's a little beer garden. This year it was Helltown Brewing. And people are just hanging out and listening to music.
It's just like you're hanging out with your neighborhood. It was just so...
The word we chose for Erie Acres was...
family. Feels like family.
It is a very... It's a community festival kind of haunt. It feels like everybody's welcome there. It feels like the whole neighborhood is just there hanging out.
Yes.
Even as scary as the haunted attractions are, they have this kind of fun feel to them.
Yes.
So if you're looking for a place where you can spend a whole evening, you can do a bunch of stuff, you can get scared and then grab some food from one of the food trucks, check out the vendors, listen to the music, have a beer, and just sit by the bonfire. Erie Acres is absolutely the place to do it, and they will make you feel like family there too.
Yes.
Incredibly welcoming. And you know what? Speaking of families. Kind of our family.
Yeah. And they're all family.
And they are family. Castle Blood in Monessen. Castle Blood is another different kind of haunted attraction.
Right. Yeah.
It's... Go ahead.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
They're different. I'm the color commentator. Woo!
This is my hot woman. So, Castle Blood is less a conventional haunted house. Oh, you're so lucky, though. Honestly, you're so lucky. Before we started filming... I do. Before we started filming, we were doing karaoke to Total Eclipse of the Heart.
This is true. You could be listening to that.
This is a step up, honestly.
Might be a bonus track if you subscribe.
Tish and Lily sing 80s and 90s hits. But Castle Blood is less a conventional haunted attraction than sort of a cross between an escape room, immersive theater. You're playing a game throughout the house. This is an old house, an old funeral parlor that has been converted into a haunted attraction. And the notion behind it is this family of monsters has taken over this house, and they open it once a year to relate to the mortal world. But in order to get out of the house, you have to go on this quest, and you solve a series of puzzles. So in each room of the castle, you interact with one of the monsters. It could be a vampire, or a ghoul, or a ghost, or a mad scientist, or a witch.
They have to solve their riddle or solve their puzzle.
And you have to work together with the other people in your group to do this. So it's all about working with the people around you, working with the monsters in the castle, forging bonds with the rest of your group, forging bonds between mortals and monsters. And I feel like I worry that the castle denizens are going to hate this word, but the word that we chose for the castle was...
She's like, you say it.
Thoughtful.
Everything's there's a lot of thought put into it, as well as it being very thoughtful.
Yeah.
Even Boris puts thought into his ridicule of the mortals.
Boris is a ghoul who often acts as the castle bouncer. And he's hilarious and acid-tongued, and you don't want to get on his bad side, but he only has a bad side, so good luck with that. Everything about the castle, from the puzzles that they pose, to the script, to the characters, is well thought out. And they want to make you think too. Right. So you're having fun, it's a little spooky and creepy, and you're hanging out with these funny, dismissive monsters. But while that's happening, you're thinking as well.
Yep, learning, you're getting to know people.
So,
fun time.
Thoughtful.
Yes. Oh boy. Those people.
We're going from
speaking of mad scientists,
West Alexander Scare Fair.
Yes.
West Alexander Scare Fair is another all-volunteer haunted attraction that is at the West Alexander Fairgrounds. It's
another one that keeps growing.
Yeah.
And growing and growing. More barns every year.
Oh my gosh.
Barns.
This year was crazy. It was like, we're never going to get
another one.
What do you mean there's another barn? They've expanded from a few of the exhibition halls into a lot of the barns, and it was about what? Like a 40-minute.
Yeah. Yeah, it was quite a while.
This year. It was a journey this year. And
I think there was a little bit less than 800,000 clowns. There's a lot of clowns.
The last building is the clown barn.
Yeah.
And there's clown animatronics
out of everywhere.
And clowns following you, clowns jumping out of the walls, clowns popping out with your feet. Lots of clowns. There's mutant animals. There's a mutant cow that moves at you. There's scenes taken out of famous horror movies. There's a redneck mad scientist who is responsible for this whole mess, Dr. Joe Bob, who, ripped a hole through space and time and created this mess.
And there's a whole bunch of oddities to show.
So, given that, and the oddities hall is amazing.
Yes.
It's so cool.
Definitely slow down and look if you're in line.
Because you have everything from like a killer Roomba to Jeffrey Dahmer's KitchenAid mixer to this gorgeous
so
haunted dollhouse. There's so much to look at in their oddities hall. But with that said, I mean, the word that we chose for all of this was...
Weird.
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 And they embrace that proudly.
Oh, yeah.
love all the strangeness. They love juxtaposing like giant aliens and killer rednecks and mutant cows and
yes,
redneck
they delight in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a place that is proudly, happily, joyfully weird. And if you're looking for some place that is going to make you smile and is going to make you run, because you will.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You will.
You absolutely will.
You might run out of your shoes.
We've seen that happen. Check out West Alexander Scare Fair.
Another new one is next.
Oh, yeah. Brand new.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Craigle's Pass. This is also in Ohio. I don't have the town name right in front of me. I should have. Craigle's Pass is built around this narrative.
Right, they have the whole story.
They have this great storyline. You can
They
find
have, like,
it.
newspaper articles.
And the idea is this group of settlers fled Salem, Massachusetts back in the 1690s, made their way out to Salem Township, Ohio, and settled down there. And Craigle's Pass doesn't really exist except for in the haunted attraction, built up around them. And there's a funeral parlor, there's a sketchy hospital. This year there was a story about a freak show that overstayed its welcome in the past.
We got to play a game with a clown.
We had to play a game with a clown. It's very interactive.
Yes.
Very interactive.
Super interactive.
And they did some really crazy stuff. You were reminding me tonight about the monstrous guy with the shovel full of fire.
Fire. Like, shoving it at us. And I'm like, that's real fire.
That's actual fire.
Is that going to fall off the shovel? Like,
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
know what they're doing. But they do some highly original stuff.
Yes.
And it's very
Absolutely.
scary. The terrain of this also adds to the effect because it's sort of down this very steep hillside. At one point, we were told to look up at a gallows that was above us on the hill, and you could see the shadow of this gallows over you. It's well designed. It's creepy as heck, highly interactive, but lots of fun. And the word that we chose for Craigle's Pass was
hilarious. Bet you didn't think we were going there. You didn't know. It's funny.
It's really funny.
They were so funny. Even like there was so much misdirection, even when we weren't in the middle of like playing some random ass skull in the whole game, or like bodies on the ground, or like stuff happening. There was misdirection. There was like
they don't have a conventional maze, but what they do is they have people on the trail who send you the wrong way. So you're effectively
going in circles.
Yeah.
And there's like little ramps, little stairs, little like walkways,
and they're yelling at you and insulting you. There was a point where one clown yelled at us, for being stupid and listening to strangers. And we're like,
wait, I don't know where to go. Yeah,
we have to listen.
I mean, literally, the first thing that happened, they were like, "Watch out for like ghosts and of children." And then some little itty bitty kid came over to me and was like, "Tag, you're it." And I was like, "What just happened?" I guess I'm supposed to chase it.
Yeah, chasing after the ghost child. Oh, and by the way, it is in fact a touch haunt. In case that didn't clue you in, it's a touch haunt. Like not aggressive, but it's there. Yeah. But for a new attraction. Very well thought out. Very well done. And the storyline gives them a lot of places to go. So we're looking forward to seeing what happens next year.
Yep. Can't wait.
All right.
Ha
ha. The Hidden. Also, just down the road, also in Ohio. This is at a mini golf course.
Right. We haven't done that yet.
We haven't done
one of these years.
There's haunted mini golf.
We're going to do the haunted mini golf one of these years.
Yeah.
But we haven't. We heard it's good. A lot of people like it.
And I think it's probably a great alternative for people who don't necessarily want to do the trail.
Because their trail is a touch trail.
Let's just start with the word.
Oh, okay.
let's just start with the word. The word for the hidden is
unhinged.
Unhinged. It is a long trail through the woods. It's a touch haunt.
Yes.
And they're crazy.
Yes, and they're grabbing at you, and they're very much like in between scenes. There's always people either coming from the woods or following you and continuously like grabbing at you, trying to do things like I don't even know.
I got
like,
locked
what is
in
happening?
I got locked in a cage. She got fed a chunk of meat by some guy who was like, "Welcome to the cannibal family."
I almost got dragged down a hill.
Yeah, the nun was she was going to drag you to hell.
I was like, that's my ankle.
But they're relentless, they're crazy. There's a maze that is filled with fog that is just impenetrable. You cannot see a damn thing in this maze.
Yes.
And
beware pernicious
and stripes.
Yes.
The clowns.
We sound like we're terrified of clowns. Like we keep mentioning clowns.
It's because
they're unhinged.
I don't know about you, but I always seem to attract clowns.
I looked at her as, hey, Gomez.
No, we're not necessarily terrified of clowns, but you know, there
are some places where they really,
and this is a place with creepy clowns.
Yes.
The hidden it's really fun, but just assume you're going to be there for a long time. It's a long trail.
Enjoy.
There's a lot of people on it. Just relax.
Relax.
Enjoy your cannibal dinner.
Your walk through the woods.
And check out the surroundings in the lovely cage you'll be locked in. Oh, wow. We're getting even crazier.
I know, right?
This is crazy. All right. So the next place I think we went was
Ghoul Brothers.
Ghoul Brothers in Akron, Ohio.
They're looking for a new place right now.
Ghoul Brothers. Are you looking?
Oh my God! I don't know. They are
all the words have departed. Are you looking for props? Are you looking for sets? Are you looking for crazy actors? Are you looking for jump scares? Ghoul Brothers has it all.
Yep. You look for fast pace, people coming at you from every direction, but also interacting with you.
Yes. It's not just somebody jumping out and saying boo. It's somebody jumping out at you and then following you or showing up 6 rooms later.
Right.
To ask you how you managed to get that far. Ghoul Brothers was in this little strip mall and a relatively small space, relatively short haunt, relatively like 32, 33-ish minutes. But they pack so much into that. There is no downtime, no dead space.
Not a moment.
It is constant. They're one of the few places that offers you a ticket where you can go through multiple times. And we recommend that because at least
you do.
That
see
way
the things.
You'll be able
it's a
to
different
absorb.
Experience each time.
Yeah, because the actors will be in different rooms.
And they move to different areas.
There's literally Hollywood quality props because one of the haunt runners made props for movies. So you'll see stuff from, Jurassic Park or The Hunger Games as you're Pacific Rim as you're walking through this place. Beautiful props. But it's not just a prop animatronic place. It's actors and atmosphere, and some of the rooms are just beautiful. They're just gorgeous on their own. And we talked about the word ahead of time, and we want to say that this is not in a negative sense at all. No. But the word that we chose for Ghoul Brothers was
overwhelming. And it is, just so you know. But in a good way. if you're looking for all the things, because it's like you form, I don't want to say a bond, you form a connection with an actor or two who continues, like they will move through the haunt around the same time you do, and then they have the ones who do kind of stay in their areas, and it's just, the rooms are small. You go through in weird ways. It's another place where it's not like you're just walking through a room. The rooms are like half bathroom sized sometimes, and you go through and things are happening there, and as soon as you turn the corner something else happens. There's always something happening. There's always sounds. There's always somebody coming at you. There's always props to look at.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Something is always happening.
Every inch of this place.
Yeah, we come out like out of breath every time.
And then we want to do it again.
Right?
Because here's the thing. It's always fun.
Yes.
It's not...
Yeah.
It's not there to like empty you out or make you feel bad or just beat you down. It is fun.
Yes.
End to end. Yeah. It's scary. It's a lot, but it is fun. It's
not like work overwhelming. It's like roller coaster overwhelming.
Yes. That's good. It's a good way of putting it. It's like a really good roller coaster. Yeah. And in a similar vein, Maniac Mountain in Buckhannon, West Virginia.
Yes.
Maniac Mountain is a young-ish haunt, and it really embraces sort of the backwoods hillbilly vibe.
Yes.
You drive up and there's
a unique way.
Yeah, there's a sign on the ticket booth that says, if you don't want to see it or hear it, don't buy a ticket.
Yeah.
Because the actors will get in your face. They will swear at you.
You're swear at you.
You're gonna
so like things you're not used
gunfire, to. It is loud. It's aggressive. And
it's so much fun.
So much fun.
Yes.
And I'm just going to throw my word in here because it's going to sound out of place, but I stick by it. The word I'd pick for Maniac Mountain is artistic. Because with all of that stuff said, it is beautiful. It is.
I think some of the best pictures I've ever taken have been there.
It is like the most gorgeous hillbilly gothic place.
Yes.
This year, the Haunt Runners built a windmill. Mm-hmm. They built this windmill that looks like it's from the old Universal Frankenstein, except Appalachia. And there's red lights in it, so wherever you are on the property, you can look up and see this windmill, like bleeding light out over the grounds. And the bottom part of the windmill has become a walkthrough, and there are things in the windmill. The house, which is sort of this dark backwoods gothic spin on a haunted house, is like it's like the home of this cult. And you walk in and there's art on the walls, but there's taxidermy, there's skulls, antlers, there's woven twig figures hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, so
it
cool.
Looks consistent. One of the attractions is called death metal. And it is...
It's exactly what it sounds like.
I mean,
it's death and metal.
It's loud.
And death metal.
But it looks like this...
It's loud and big. It's like everything there's big. There's like...
post-apocalyptic settlement that's been built out of like the husks of cars and trucks and
gallon
jugs
of... gallon. Thousands of gallons.
I don't know. Are you looking at me for measurements? I don't know.
I said gallon, and then I was like, this gallon! That's how much milk we get. You know?
But it all looks... It looks consistent. It looks great. It looks like nothing else out there.
Yeah.
This is another place.
Very, very unique.
Every so nook and cranny has a consistent look, and it's beautiful and creepy, and I mean, as in your face and confrontational and loud and unapologetic as this place is, it's also just
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Ooh, next up.
Another new one.
New one.
Scary Tree Acres.
I will never get the name of the park right. Is it 2 Mile
Oh, 2 Mile Run. I almost drove into the water.
Yeah.
Or almost directed you to. I was like,
yeah,
go down there. No,
yeah,
don't
water.
Go down there.
Watch out for this is definitely
dark,
a watch out for deer kind of place. Scary Tree Acres is a new haunted attraction with loads and loads of creativity behind it. The haunt runners have experience in haunted houses and escape rooms, and you can see it in everything they've done. They
put this together in like a couple months, which is, I cannot believe that. Like,
just startling.
Yes.
They did a sort of walkthrough in the basement of one of the park's permanent buildings. They kind of
There was like 2 buildings. You went to the basement, and then you went up, and then there was another building, and then there was the trail.
And it looked beautiful. Like, some of the props and the sets on the trail were just jaw-dropping.
Right.
Great actors the whole way through. Really wonderful actors. The house, which was Mackey Manor, looked...
Oh, yeah, and the entrance to the trail had that
giant wooden skull.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So good.
Gorgeous. But one of the things that just kind of blew us away the whole way through was, this is another place that has its own look, and that carries through into the makeup and the creature design. So the word we chose for Scary Tree Acres was...
Mama. Mama was super impressive in costume, makeup, acting. I mean, the way that she was set up in the haunt, and the way that she turned around and looked at you. Like,
one of the best creature reveals I think we saw all season. And it reflected like the level of detail and the level of thoughtfulness that went into the whole haunt.
Yes.
Because Mama was, she's the matriarch of this cursed family, and you're intruding on her property. And when Mama turns around, you see her, and it was a beautifully staged, because it wasn't like
really was.
It wasn't like she jumped out.
No.
She was sitting at a desk.
She was like writing, and it took her a long time. Like, she did not turn around right away, and we're like, "What are you doing? Do we need to do something? Which way do we go?" We're all, and she just kind of slowly turned around and looked at us. She was like, "Oh my God,
what is wrong with her?" Yeah, but that was consistent with other creature designs. There was a headless butler. I don't think I've seen like a headless character that was walking around. They did really unusual things with the costuming and the makeup and the character design that suggest the level of creativity that went into this, and that's going to go into it over the years
future.
To come.
Yep.
So, we'll see you next year, Mama.
Yeah.
And the final place we went.
Yeah. Wait, what is that? What else?
Yeah,
Hallowfest. Hallowfest, yes.
It was Regal Vineyards, I think.
Right.
This is in Ohio wine country, up near Geneva. I don't think the winery was in Geneva, but a friend of ours recommended that we check it out, and we ended up going after Halloween, and
that was
glad that we did.
Yeah, it was so good. It's so much fun. Like, the haunts themselves were good, and then the atmosphere. It was very much Halloween. It was Halloween Town.
Halloween Town.
You were in this like village, but it was like really,
It was this creepy, charming village.
Yeah.
Little twinkling lights in the trees,
right?
And,
the trees,
and delicious food,
the falling
and
leaves,
wine.
and
And a scarecrow god that you have to worship at some point, and a whole settlement of post-apocalyptic maniacs who want to steal your hair for their dolls.
Yeah. And you pay for the touch option there. It is extra. It's a decent amount extra, because sometimes it's like $2. I think it was like $15.
Yeah.
But it's not just I'm going to play with your hair. Like they grab you. They're
literally when we walked up to the entrance of the first part of the trail, there was a door, and I said, "Should we go in?" And the attendant at the door said, "No, when they're ready for you, someone will come and grab you." She meant that literally. Like this
they will just come and
came running at me and grabbed me and dragged me through the door. I was like,
okay,
good to know.
Yes.
So if you do in fact go to Hallowfest and pay for the touch option, know that it is a no joke for real touch option.
Yes.
But I think the word that we agreed on for this, we batted around Halloween Town a lot, but I think we agreed on beautiful.
Yep, because it's beautiful in a creepy way, and it's beautiful in like just a Halloweeny fall way.
And there again, this is a place with multiple attractions.
A
corn maze, a sort of post-apocalyptic trail, a haunted house, and like a clown barn area. Very good acting, great range of characters. Again,
and it's supposed to be really haunted too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they are very careful because there's apparently a ghost of a little boy that they don't want to disturb, and they're very sensitive to him. But it's a fun and festive and really celebratory place, and things are really well done.
Yes.
It's really well done. So that
was a wrap.
Wow, that was Haunt Season 2024.
That's a wrap.
We talked a lot.
Talked for an hour and 16 minutes. Mostly you talked for an hour.
Thank you for sticking with us. We will be posting more videos. We'll force her to post more videos in the coming weeks.
Will. Yes.
And who knows? We may have the special Tisha Lily karaoke option here in a couple of weeks.
You might be able to pay more to hear us sing.
Oh, Lord. But thank you so much for joining us on this journey, and we will be back. And as always, we're going to have more reasons why you should go to more haunted houses.
Yes.
Bye.